Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Taya's Turning Pages. So as you can tell by the title, I do have a mini book haul that I want to share with you guys today. Now, I know I just filmed a Barnes & Noble shop with me / haul video, and I will leave that linked up above in the cards just in case you haven't checked that video out yet. But these books that I'm going to share with you today, I've actually accumulated over the past couple of months, and I just haven't shared them with you guys here on my channel. And this is something that I'm going to try to start doing more regularly and just staying on top of, because there are a lot of moments where I will add new books to my library, whether that's me buying them with my own money or being sent them by publishers. A lot of these books I was supposed to show you guys in reading vlogs or just other videos, but sometimes those videos end up getting scrapped and then I completely forget to show you guys these books. So this is not going to be a long video. It really is just a couple of books that I've had here and there. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump into the haul. So the first book that I have here is a thriller, and it is A Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing. So I actually bought this book last year in 2023, and I was supposed to include this book in a dark romance / toxic romance reading vlog that just never happened. I might still end up filming that video later on this year, but as of right now, I don't know when that will be, so that's why I just wanted to include this book in this video. I know that this book has been out for a minute, but this is still on my TBR. I still have yet to read it, but I'm hoping to get to it very soon. Like I was saying, this is a thriller, and I've actually read one book by Samantha Downing, which is called He Started It, and that book was a wild ride. But going back to A Twisted Love Story, right here it says, Wes and Ivy are madly in love. They've never felt anything like it. It's the type of romance people write stories about. But what kind of story? When it's good, it's great. Flowers, grand gestures, deep, meaningful conversations where the whole world disappears. But when it's bad, it's really bad. Vengeful fights, damaged property, arrest warrants. But their vicious cycle of catastrophic breakups and head over heels reconciliations needs to end fast. Because suddenly, Wes and Ivy have a common enemy, and she's a detective. There's something Wes and Ivy never talk about, in good times or bad. The night of their worst breakup, when one of them took things too far and someone ended up dead. If they can stick together, they can survive anything, even the tightening net of a police investigation. Because one more breakup might just be their last. So as you can hear by that synopsis, this sounds like this is going to be entertaining, delicious, juicy, and I cannot wait to see how this story unfolds. I will let you guys know my thoughts in a wrap up. The next book that I have here is a YA book, and it is Songs of Erie by Asha Bromfield. So I'm actually really looking forward to diving into this one. I know I'm going to say this about all of these books, but this one in particular I'm actually really excited for, because if you've been following my channel for a while, then you know that I've talked about this author as well as her work in the past, and I have nothing but great things to say about her work. Asha Bromfield is just a very talented author, writer, storyteller, and she deserves more recognition. But Asha Bromfield is actually the author of one of my favorite books of all time, and when I say favorite books, I truly mean favorite books. This is ranked as one of my favorite books of 2022, and it is Hurricane Summer. So again, if you've been following my channel for a while, then you know how much I've talked about this book, raved about this book, and how I always recommend this. Truthfully, this is one of those books that I wish would have been out when I was a teenager and when I was coming of age, because of how much I related to the main character, Tilla, in the story. It is a coming of age story following a young black girl named Tilla who spends a summer in Jamaica to connect to her roots, her family, as well as trying to reconcile with her father. And in the midst of Tilla trying to reconnect with her family and her roots, there's actually a hurricane that hits Jamaica. And so you follow Tilla as well as these other characters throughout the story of them trying to survive this hurricane. There's just a lot that could be said about this book. It's a very poignant read, very moving. And so once I found out that Songs of Erie was being published, I added this to my cart right away and I pre-ordered this book. This book published back in 2023. I'm not sure of the actual month, but either way, this published last year, so I am a bit late getting to this, but I'm hoping that I can read this soon, specifically for Black History Month. So in the flap here it says, it's 1976 and warring political parties in Jamaica have made the divisions between the poor and the wealthy even wider. Irie and Jilly come from very different backgrounds, but the two bond through a shared love of reggae, spending time together at Erie's father's record store, listening to so-called rebel music. A budding romance between the two girls complicates things further as the push and pull between their two lives becomes impossible to bear. For Erie, fighting with her words and her voice is her only option. Blood is shed on the streets in front of her every day. But Jilly, from the heart of Kingston, where lush mansions remain safe behind gates, can always choose to escape. Can their bond survive this impossible divide? This book is going to have a very powerful message. I also love how gorgeous this cover is. And one thing about Asha Bromfield, she really does work with, like, I feel like the best cover illustrators, because they take their time with these books. Even Hurricane Summer is just absolutely stunning. I feel like my ring light is not doing these covers justice, but trust me y'all, these books are absolutely stunning. And the next two books that I have here are part of the same duet / duology, and it is the These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong duet. And y'all, I know this is probably a surprise to some of my OG subscribers because y'all know I say it all the time, but I am not a fantasy girly. I really don't dip and dabble into the fantasy genre as much as I feel like other readers do. I might try to change that this year. I feel like I say that every year and then I just never really do. I was clearly interested in picking up these two books and I just find the actual synopsis so intriguing that I had to pick it up. And as you can see, it's still in its original packaging. I did not take this out of the plastic because I was planning on talking more about these books in a reading vlog that I don't think is coming anymore. Maybe, but right now I don't really have any plans of filming a reading vlog for this anymore, but that's why I kept it in the packaging. And I ended up getting these from Amazon for a really great price. I think it was during one of their Prime Day deals. They had a really crazy sale for a lot of their books and I was able to get 2 hardcovers for like $22. That is wild to me. So this duet is actually a Romeo and Juliet retelling and it's set in 1926 Shanghai, China. So on the back here it says, the year is 1926 and Shanghai hums to the tune of debauchery. A blood feud between 2 gangs runs the streets red, leaving the city helpless in the grip of chaos. At the heart of it all is 18-year-old Juliet Kai, a former flapper who has returned to assume her role as the proud heir of the Scarlet Gang, a network of criminals far above the law. Their only rivals in power are the White Flowers, who have fought the Scarlets for generations. And behind every move is their heir, Roma Montague, Juliet's first love and first betrayal. But when gangsters on both sides show signs of instability culminating in clawing their own throats out, the people start to whisper of a contagion, a madness, of a monster in the shadows. As the deaths stack up, Juliet and Roma must set their guns and grudges aside and work together. For if they can't stop this mayhem, then there will be no city left for either to rule. So that synopsis just sounds so good. And now that I read it more closely, I realized that this is probably going to be like a romantasy type of book, which I know is like really popular right now. I see so many people are really getting into romantasy, so I'm happy that I can finally board the train, especially with this duet, because this just sounds like this is going to be right on my alley, especially because it is enemies to lovers, clearly. So I am seated for this. I also picked this up because I have been eyeing Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. The Fairy Loot and Owl Crate editions that I've seen of that book makes me want to get it. I obviously want to read that book first and make sure that I like it before I just spend money on a special edition, because y'all know the Owl Crate and Fairy Loot special edition books can get really pricey, especially if they're on the resale market. But everybody that's read this duet as well as Foul Lady Fortune said that you need to read these 2 books first, but obviously I'll let you guys know my thoughts when I actually do get around to this duet. And the last set of books that I have here are all a part of the same series. One of them I actually showed you guys in a past video. I think I showed it in one of my like Target book shop with me videos. I wanted to obviously show it here because it completes the whole series and it looks better that way. The series that I'm talking about is the Hoop series by Kennedy Ryan. I went ahead and picked up the Bloom editions of the Hoop series because, as you guys can see here, I do have these special edition covers. I only use these for display purposes. I do not read from these. I have not annotated these and I have no intentions of doing so. These editions are absolutely stunning. We have an illustrated cover of the 2 main characters in this book, Iris and August, and this is the first book in the series. I'm not going to go through all of these special edition covers, but just know that they all have this type of style on the front. So I ended up picking up the Bloom editions, and to be honest, I think these are beautiful too. For those of you who do not know what the Hoop series is about, it is a sports romance series and it follows the world of the NBA as well as basketball players and their sports agents. And I also wanted to mention that the Hoop series is essentially like its own universe or multiverse of madness, because all of these characters know each other or know of each other in some capacity. And I just think that's a nice touch because it really helps you as the reader get connected to these characters and also invest in them, and you obviously want to know what they're up to when you get to the next book. You can read them out of order if you want. So starting with Longshot follows an aspiring basketball player named August as well as his love interest named Iris. I'm not going to get into the full nitty-gritty of all of these books, but just know every single one of these holds a special place in my heart, but for different reasons. This is the first book that I've ever read by Kennedy Ryan and I haven't looked back since. So I definitely recommend picking up this entire series and giving it a read. Now I will say that you should look up the trigger warnings for every single book, especially for Longshot, because this book does have themes and discussions surrounding domestic violence. This book is so powerful and these characters will stick with you long after you close the book. And moving on to the second book, which is Blockshot. So this story follows 2 characters named Banner and Jared, and both Banner and Jared are aspiring sports agents. This book is a second chance romance. I would say if you want more of a just like a lighthearted, fun, tension-filled romance book, definitely pick up Blockshot because you will get that and more. But that doesn't mean that there aren't serious topics in this book. So again, make sure you look up the trigger warnings. And then moving on to the final book in the series, which is Hookshot. I would say that this is the most romantic and swoon-worthy book out of the bunch. The story follows two characters named Keenan and Lotus, and Keenan is pretty much courting Lotus throughout the majority of the book. And it was just so refreshing to read about two black characters having their epic love story and falling in love in such a healthy, positive way. And we need more books like this, like we truly do. And I just thank Kennedy Ryan so much for creating this book because, like I said, it was just such a breath of fresh air. I wanted to get into the goodies that I received with both Blockshot and Hookshot because I actually ordered these from a website known as Page 158 Books. This is a bookstore that's located in North Carolina, but they have a website, and Kennedy Ryan partners with this bookstore pretty frequently when she wants to sell special editions of her books or signed copies. So like I said, I bought both of these books through that website, and starting with Blockshot, I ended up getting a special edition art vellum / art print. This is the art print for Blockshot, and we have the watercolor / flower that's on the front of the cover, and then there's also a quote, and then of course the title, but there is all over text of a quote / sentence that represents the story. The quote in the center right here says, "Be unafraid to want it all," a direct quote from the book, and then the all over print says, "The daughter of a lion." And I just think that this was a nice little touch, like I said. And then right here you can see that my copy is personalized. It has my name as well as Kennedy Ryan's signature, and then a quote from the book which says equinox. And I'm not going to get into what that means, but if you read the book, then you know. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it does look like my name is spelled incorrectly here. It looks like it's spelled Taylor. Moving on to Hookshot, this is the same deal. It's signed, and I also received a beautiful art print, which I love even more than Blockshot because this actually has the characters on it. Hopefully you guys can see that, but we have Keenan and Lotus on the front here, and you also have this quote in the upper corner: "I have found the one whom my soul loves." I just feel like that's a great quote that embodies Hookshot because, like I said, this is the most romantic book out of the series in my opinion, and there are so many different moments where Keenan and Lotus just recite these poems to each other. I love these types of art prints. Like, anytime I can put a face to the characters' names, that's what I want. Right here, as you can see, this book is also personalized. It has my name spelled correctly. It has Kennedy Ryan's signature, and it also has a quote that is from the book. And I don't know what this quote says. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think it might say queen, but at the same time, I'm not sure. Maybe when I reread this book, I'll be able to decipher that, and I'll let y'all know in that video. But yeah. But either way, I'm really happy with every single one of these editions. I'm so happy that Kennedy Ryan got picked up by Bloom. Unfortunately, I do not have an art print or a personalized copy of Longshot because I ended up getting this edition from Target because I missed out on ordering this from Page 158 Books, which I'm really devastated about because they came out with a beautiful art print of August and Iris, and I'm so mad that I missed out on it, y'all.
Like, I really wanted that art print.
Because August and Iris is one of my favorite fictional couples of all time. Like, when I tell y'all top five. Like, I love this couple so much. And I've been searching on Pango Books endlessly, trying to see if I can find it or if anyone is selling it on a resale site, but I haven't been able to find it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I might have to just take that L, but either way, I am happy that I at least have these two copies signed and I got those art prints with it. And I will be rereading the Hoop series this year, and I will be filming a reading vlog for that. So I do plan on annotating these books. I finished Hookshot a little bit later than anticipated, so I did just read this not too long ago, but it's been some time since I read Longshot and Blockshot. So I can't wait to film that video, so definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. This series just means so much to me, as you can tell. Can't wait to build out more of my Kennedy Ryan book collection because I plan on having a shelf dedicated to her books, or two, we'll see. She has a lot of books. I definitely plan on building that out hopefully sometime soon, or at least getting a start on it this year. So I'll obviously include that transformation in a video at some point in the future. All right, y'all, and those are all of the books that I had to share with you today. Like I said, this wasn't going to be a super long video, and I really didn't have that many books that I accumulated over the past couple of months, but I do have another book haul video planned. That will be a future video, so definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me and my channel out. And lastly, please make sure you follow me on Bookstagram as well as Storygraph. I will leave all of that information linked down below, as well as at the end of the video like I always do. I will see you guys in my next video.